Players, there we go. Yes, might be better. From a player's perspective, can we just get your thoughts on everything we've heard, seen in terms of off-the-field incidents in the England game on Monday night? I imagine it's not something you expect to see anymore.
No, it's still quite shocking, to be honest. I was watching it the other night. Couldn't quite believe the level of racism that's still taking part in this day and age. I think it's an absolute disgrace, to be honest, and it's got no place in football. I thought the squad and the manager and all the coaches and everything conducted themselves really well, obviously with this protocol they were talking about. And they showed their class on the pitch, but yeah, it was disgraceful scenes, and like I said, shocking to see.
I don't imagine you've been in even a similar situation, but when you're out of your comfort zone and it's not purely about football, how important is it then that you rely on support from authorities and auxiliary staff to guide you in the right direction?
Yeah, there's got to be a way of stamping it out somehow. I know there's a lot of campaigns and things that are trying to do stuff, but like you said, as soon as the authorities get involved and really show that there's no place for it, that's when it's going to stop. I mean, they have to make a stance, and like I said, the players conducted themselves so well, which is a proud night for England, the way they conducted themselves. And like you said, hopefully the authorities do stamp it out, and we never have to see such disgusting scenes ever again. Have
you had a chance to speak to Hendo at all about his thoughts on what happened out there?
I only had a brief chat with him. He lives in the same block as me, so he came up yesterday, and I said congratulations about the call up and everything. We didn't talk about that. He was in a rush. I think he was going out for some food or something like that. So I'm sure we'll catch up today. But I'm sure he's in agreement with me that it's no place in football and in society as a whole. And it needs to stop.
Looking ahead to this weekend's game, what will it be like for you knowing that your game isn't until Monday night, everybody else plays over the weekend? Is that a good thing, or do you get a bit antsy when everybody's playing?
I'm not sure. It might be a bit different if you're in a situation at the end of the season and you go in for a target or things like that. Certainly last year we had a case of where we were always playing before our rivals, and maybe that had a psychological edge. I'm not sure, but at this stage of the season, it's not a problem. It's exciting times. Monday night football. In front of a packed Bramall Lane, with the light show and everything, it's going to be exciting. And like I said, this stage of the season, you're not too worried about other people's results, and we'll go there full of confidence and look to put on a performance.
Is it a different atmosphere? Is this something special at Bramall Lane when, like say, it's under the lights and it's a full house? Yeah,
I mean, I love playing at Bramall Lane. The fans, since my time I've been here, have been different class. Always getting behind the boys. Obviously, they've got the connection with the players, the manager, the captain. So it just all feels like you're all got one aim, one goal, and all in it together. It's brilliant to play in.
And how much do you lean on the performance you had here against Liverpool when you take on a team like Arsenal? Because let's be honest, but for an error, you'd have got at least a point out of that game.
Yeah, I think it was a really confident showing from us. We went toe to toe with arguably one of the best teams in the world at the minute. You don't achieve what they've achieved by luck, so they're a top quality team, and to go toe to toe with them was really, really pleasing and gave us a lot of confidence, and hopefully we can take that into Arsenal.
To focus on you specifically, how would you sum up the process of adapting to being a Premier League footballer? So do you do anything different or more now that you might have done in the previous divisions you played?
I think, because obviously it's my first time in the Premier League, obviously we've watched players, throughout my whole life I've been watching the Premier League, so you gauge an idea about how they play, what they're like, but I think the one change I've made is I look into my opponent a little bit more, try and see if there's things I haven't just seen on TV. I go through it with Alan Neil. We just look at things that can always improve my game and counteract some top quality opposition that I come across.
It must be an interesting process because the Premier League kind of all sorts of everywhere and on the TV all the time, but if it's almost like it goes in one ear and out the other if you don't look.
Yeah, I mean it's so important that you have to take everything in, not be fazed by who you're playing against, but also give that respect that you kind of know what you're up against and you know how to stop them.
Moving on to Arsenal now as a prospect, how do you assess where they are? Because again, a lot is being said about them and transitions and a new manager. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the manager's got his way of playing. It will take time, but you can't forget the amount of top quality players they've got on show in every position. They've got great strength in depth, and they'll be a really, really tough team to beat. But we'll go there full of confidence at Bramall Lane, and like we always do. You've known us for a long time now. We'll always try and implement our game. Not worry too much about the opposition, but like I said, give that respect to them that they deserve, and hopefully we can put on a show like we did at Liverpool, but this time come out with some points.
No one would think for a second it's not been a strong start to the season, just that need for more goals, I suppose. Amongst you as a group of players, do you talk about that? How can that improve? It's
definitely a team thing. I mean, I've seen a few things where we're saying the strikers aren't scoring, etc., but it's a team thing. It's up to us to supply the strikers with those opportunities. I mean, a few games they've not had gilt-edged chances, so it's not like they're missing a load. And also, we need to take it on as well and start contributing. So it's a team thing. Like I've said to you before, we defend together and we attack together, and that literally is it. Apart from maybe John Egan, who stays back, everyone's attacking. So we've all got to take responsibility for that, and I'm sure it will come. I mean, we've come up a league. We've shown what we're about, and the next stage is now progressing and hopefully scoring a few more goals.
I run the risk of dropping onto a theme here, but this group of players, you're not really starry-eyed, are you? So for the Van Dijks and the Manes of this world, you can sort of put that to Aubameyang and Ozil and the Arsenal players.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we respect all these players. You don't have the careers they have by chance. They've all worked so hard to get there, and they are brilliant players. But this manager here won't let you be starry-eyed, as you say. We'll go into every game believing that we deserve to be there on a level playing field with these players, and we do. We're in the same division. We get 3 points for winning, they get 3 points for winning. It's no different. So we go in there respecting the opposition, but also, old cliche, when you cross that white line, everyone's equal, and we just do everything we can to win.
Just as an aside, you and Jack O'Connell have seen some of your colleagues go off and play international football over the international break. Do you feel as though now that there is a pathway, if you earn your stripes at Premier League level, there's a manager that looks away from the kind of the tried and trusted, the try new things, that if you do earn your stripes, you might have a chance?
Yeah, I mean, playing international football is the pinnacle for any professional footballer. I think it's great for Dean Henderson. I think it's thoroughly deserved. I see how hard he works every day, and I was absolutely delighted for him to get that call up. Hopefully many more for himself. But yeah, in this country, obviously the manager's shown that he trusts young players, and the squad he's announced in the last couple of times, he's brought players in that haven't been there before, and I think it's refreshing for the game. And I'm sure other countries are doing the same. Trying to breed young players in and seeing what they can do differently to get results.
The idea, of course, is to potentially find yourself at the centre of an international tug of war, isn't it? With what you,
I can qualify for England and Greece, but it's all in the future, innit? And until anything happened, it's just one of them. I don't really think about it, to be honest. It'd be a proud moment either way if it ever happened. But like I said, at the minute I'm just focusing on trying to do my best for Sheffield United, and I think that's the stance you've got to take if you want to play for this manager. Any outside distractions aren't best welcomed by this manager, so just keep grounded, keep working hard, and see how far you can go.
You've obviously seen firsthand then that outside distractions aren't best welcomed, as you politely put it, by this manager. Yeah, I mean, this manager's, he says it how it is. He's an honest guy. He speaks the truth, never lies to you. So, if he's happy with you, he will tell you, and if he's not, he's not. And I think that's the best way to be, because everyone works so hard for him.
all the boys here will run through a brick wall for him. So it's because he's so honest, and I for one think that's the best way, because you know where you stand, and if he wants you to improve, you've got to improve, and I think it's refreshing to see, and I love playing under him.
Do you think, I mean, because there has been, and I'm not looking to sort of rake up some of the old stuff, but there has been a bit of debate about sort of how honest he can be and how honest players actually want things to be, but clearly there's a group here that feel just tell it how it is really, and rather than dress it up in crap.
Well, yeah, I heard a few things, but you just need to look a week on, and I'm talking about the Dean Henderson situation here. This gaffer works with us 6-7 days a week sometimes, week in, week out. He knows us as characters. He brought us in based on our ability, but also based on our characters, so he knows the type of people we are. And with the Hendo thing, you just got to look a week on and see him put in a man of the match performance against Watford. He's done that time after time. Every time he's had a little blip, maybe, he's come back roaring. And I think that it's just credit to the gaffer, and obviously credit to Hendo, because he's so mentally strong, like I said in my interview after the game. So it's no surprise to me that he's come back roaring, and the gaffer just demands standards, and I think, like I said, it's refreshing sometimes to know where you stand. And he'll be the same with me. He's done it before to me, he's done it to all the lads, but you just come back roaring. And I remember once we played at Derby, and I didn't do something he wanted me to do, and he came down on me like a ton of bricks. But then I went out second half and played really well. So it's just one of them. You just sink or swim, really, isn't it? It's just get on with it and listen to the manager and go from there.
And how do you spend your Saturdays when you're not playing? Then do you watch the scores come in, or do you just try and avoid Dean Henderson in your block of flats? Or is it, yeah?
I'm sure Hendo will be up with me watching the game. What game's on? Is it?
Do you know what? I'm not sure actually.
I'm not sure, but there'll certainly be a game I'll be watching. You can't get away from it, can you? Especially the Premier League. So, and you don't want to, do you? You want to be involved in it, and I'll just be probably watching either Sky Sports News or whatever game's on.
Great plug, like.
Oh yeah, of course.
That'll get shown then. Not the stuff about international football. It's going to be watching Sky.
I've just got one, Joe. That sort of research you say, you don't do on your opponents. I mean, it's just to get that extra little percentage edge, isn't it? It's like almost having homework in a way, isn't it?
No, of course. I've heard Gary Neville speak about it as well, about just knowing what your opponent's going to do. Obviously, we're playing against some really good players here who can switch their game up, so you're not going to know everything about them. But just like small things, kind of knowing what turns they like to do, knowing the movements they like to do, obviously knowing what foot they are, etc. is a given. But just any little percentage that you can get to combat, how they play and to give you the upper hand is invaluable, really. And I think so far in these 8 games, it's really helped me, and I'll continue to do it for the rest of my career, I think.
Yeah, is it a fair part of your preparation then, I suppose, now for you?
Yeah, I mean, the guys upstairs are brilliant. They send us clips all the time, team clips, positives and negatives and everything like that, like a lot of clubs will do. But they go into real detail and work really hard, so it's I'm not going to then let them do all that hard work and not watch them. So no, it's really helped me. And like I said, all the staff up there have always got time for you if you need to go through people's clips and stuff. That they'll always be there to help, and it's been really good. And like I said, I'll continue to do it.
Yeah.
Well, who did you grow up supporting, just out of interest?
Man United.
I just wondering, obviously I'm a Northern, so everybody supporting.
Yeah, from Milton Keynes and support Man United.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, George.
I knew you.